dead man. Another nail in my coffin, another nail for me. I gotta look pretty when I go down. Another nail in my coffin, can't you spare one more? I gotta look pretty when I'm knocking down heaven's door. I'm a dead man walking, I'm a dead man walking, I'm a dead man. I'm a dead man walking, I'm a dead man walking, I'm a dead man. My cigarette. You ever seen a dead man talking? No, you haven't seen one yet. I'm a dead man walking, 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 I'm a dead man. I went down to that river, washed my sins for free. No one seemed to notice as I stared. I went down to that river to wash my sins away. I was thinking of you in that wedding gown. I went down to that water to wash my sins away. The world faded away as I went down, 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 down. I'm a dead man walking, I'm a dead man walking, I'm a dead man. I'm a dead man walking, I'm a dead man walking, I'm a dead man. I'm a dead man walking, I'm a dead man walking, I'm a dead man.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the TheDeltaBB Unfiltered. A lot of people are going to be confused. Before I introduce my guest, I'd like to introduce my moderators. I've got South Coast Ace, I've got Decoy NDA, I've got L Poly, and we've got Shadow Gaming. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you guys for moderating this chat tonight. It is ridiculous that we have to do this, but you guys came in clutch, and I appreciate it. If any of you guys have to leave at any time, you guys just leave. You don't have to announce that you're gone. I appreciate you guys being here. Anyways, let's introduce the guest. We have the third drunk on Three Drunks in a Bottle, fucking Lip, who just created his Discord tonight. and he decided, boom, let's be here. And he is here with the Delta BB Unfiltered. How are you doing, Lip?
I'm all right. I'm feeling pretty lifted. Liking the whiskey we're all drinking tonight. Feeling pretty as a third drunk should be.
So, I'm gonna veer off a little bit. Normally, how I would normally do this, I'm gonna ask you some three drunk questions to just kind of hit it off. Uh, so just to kind of give some background on how you become a third drunk. Uh, how did you become a third drunk on Three Drunks in a Bottle?
Man, I just showed up, dog. You know, like I'm real big on dedication. If you want me to be here, I'll be here. And I showed up, and I'm still here. So fuck it, bro. I'm here.
I literally tell people I met you off the street, and like that's
Damn
how
near.
Three Drunks happened. Was like I was helping my little sister move, and we had just met you, and boom, there you were. We were like, "Hey, you interested?" And you had a
Hey,
fucking
you drink like
what gave you away, like made you a guest, was you had that craft beer that day. You had brought the craft beer, and you were like, "Hey, I just drove the fucking U-Haul. You and Hunter just drove the U-Haul. You want a beer?" And we drank a fucking 6 pack, and like in what 10 minutes, we drank a 6 pack, and we were like, "Oh, this is my guy right here, dude." Like that's how that fucking happened.
I don't know. I just felt we deserved some beer, so I felt shit. I was like, guess what? We're gonna have some Voodoo Ranger. That's those are each about 9% alcohol. So we had about 20%. We had almost 20% alcohol. That was two beers apiece, and then we just moved the shit out of a bunch of shit.
How's it been being on Three Drunks in a Bottle? Like, I mean, you know that like that's our baby. At this point, that's our baby. So coming from the Delta BB Unfiltered, which is new, but my face is not new to any form of YouTube at all. I do it all. I do gaming, uh, being Ace, which is one of the moderators tonight. It has been a year since we've done an Ace and BB show. That's about to come back. Me and him just recently confirmed that is about to come back at some point. Uh, what is it? How do you feel about like actually having a almost like established name? Uh, we have grown the Delta BB, so the YouTube as a whole, we have grown it based off of Two Drunks in a Bottle. So you started right on in with over 200 subscribers. How do you feel about having 200 viewers and being brand new right into it? And we always have anywhere from 10 to 15 viewers on our uh, podcast live. How do you feel about that?
I think that I'm always humbled to be here. I've appreciated every episode, and I'm honestly surprised that I'm here. And I just take each step a new progression in figuring out what this is all about. And yeah, I'm just taking it as it goes, one step at a time, trying to figure it out. Um, yeah, especially as many categories that I'm fixing to be jumping into.
Well,
Uh,
speaking of your categories, we kind of added you with the third drunk position. We added you also as our mixologist, as Hunter calls you. Hunter's not here to speak on it. Uh, we added you as a mixologist. So our latest episode was aired, not live, but we actually got to commentate on that. and we did Maker's Mark. Uh, and in Maker's Mark, you got to show your mixologist style. Uh, you picked a dessert. You paired that whiskey with pecan pie. So, where do you see our episodes going as a mixologist? Where do you see the episodes going? Like, do you already have plans for the next episode? Or for a future episode that you already know in alcohol? Because you may not know the next episode. And I can actually tell you, you don't know what the bottle is going to be on the next episode, but you know a future bottle at some point. Because, like, Blue Note is coming up at some point. We don't know when Blue Note's coming. You already have something paired with that bourbon.
Not quite yet. I didn't know how he wanted to set it up. With how we were scheduling everybody. But once we start having that kind of fall into a domino effect, we can figure it out as we go along. But I mean, as soon as it comes up, I'm gonna start kind of researching, see what we need to if we need to eat a specific type of meat, we're gonna eat a specific type of sweet, specific type of drink, go with it. I mean, we'll make it happen. But that's what I like going into is just kind of because you don't like Hunter has said before, he's had sweets with liquor before and it's kind of made it make your kind of stomach upset. So if you get the right sweets with the right type of liquor or whatever like that, I feel like it just makes it all the better experience.
For sure, for sure. Uh, Over the next year, where do you see Three Drunks on the Bottle going? Uh, do you have a vision? Say that you were the founder of it think outside of me and Hunter, and this was your baby. Where do you see it going over the next year? Do you think that me and Hunter, so I'm asking you multiple questions at one point. Uh, so I asked you the first question to, like, if it was just you as a visionary, where do you see it? Where would you have seen it going? And then the next question would be, uh, as a whole, do you think that me and Hunter have led this in the right direction? Is there third question would be, is there anything that you would have changed within inside of what me and Hunter have already built? And I can ask those questions separately, and I gave them to you all three at one time. And I'd love for you to hit on the first one. And I give it to you. I can give it to you individually if you'd like.
Yeah, say it one more time as a refreshment on the first.
All right. So your first one would be that we've already built it, but say that we didn't build it. Where would you have built Three Drunks in a Bottle? Where would you have built it from the ground up?
Well, it's like I've been saying, like how I'm coming in here right at like the 1 year anniversary. I'm trying to. That's what I'm telling y'all. It's like a revolution, a revelation. I didn't. It was lowly expected for me, to pop in here. So, uh, I think it just needs to take that turn. Yeah, when it was still too drunk. So when it was still too drunk, like I just thought I was going to be another guest. When I got on to the next one, and it was pretty much the test to see if I was going to even be remotely a third drunk. Um, like just like now, I'm just going with the flow. I've I've gotten comfortable. I think I've accepted the one.
So your second question would have been, where and how we have grown things. Is there anything that you would have changed within that to help us have grown quicker than what we've already grown?
I mean, everything that y'all do, everything y'all have a style of originality that y'all have with y'all's show, y'all's podcast. Um, so the only thing I can really do is just kind of add on. I kind of, it's just more of a collaboration. I'm in.
Mike's breaking up, Hunter.
Hello.
You're good. Your mic was breaking up a little bit. Go ahead and repeat what you just said.
Yeah, just trying to I'm just here more of a collaboration, more of an add-on. I wouldn't say y'all need to really change anything. Y'all's style, it has an originality, and that's good. Um, all I can do is just add on, add in, um, go with the flow, just like how I always do.
So the last question was, where do you envision yourself with Three Drunks in a Bottle over the next year? Uh, how do you see us growing? And what you contribute? Like, what are your plans for Three Drunks in a Bottle?
A lot more activation and linking with the audience. That's what I'd like to see. If we can get a lot, you know, having a decent audience is nice, but just having the ongoing conversations, um, and just the great topics. I think, and the versatility. If we can bring a lot of versatility in this year, um, between clears, dark, um, moonshines, foreign liquors, just covering a spectrum of liquors. I think that's like I said, it goes all back to the revelation. We're gonna have a revolution.
All right, so I'm gonna change views over here. We're gonna move away from Three Drunks in a Bottle. This has actually been one that I've wanted to hit on this week, and I'm glad that you were the guest for it. Do you watch football?
No,
You don't watch football. All right,
no.
so
I've done college.
uh,
I've watched a little college, but not professional really.
I'm just curious. Hammy Games, are you watching this podcast right now? Comment Hammy Games if you were watching this podcast right now. I'm just curious if Hammy Games is watching this podcast because I'm about to hit on his NFL team. Which would be great if he's watching this podcast right now. Let me check Discord. Hashtag Hammy. Thank you, Hunter. Hunter's watching the podcast. Appreciate you watching Gordon TheDeltaBB Unfiltered. That's my dude right there. Let's see if Hammy is watching. All right, Hammy Games is online. Hashtag Battlefield Bill. Hang on, I messaged him separately. Because you know what? We may add another person in VC for this. Because I'm curious for an opinion on this. Since you don't watch football, I'm curious on this question I'm about to add, or this topic I'm about to talk about.
I'm more of a combat sport.
So you're gonna be excited for what's to come in Three Drunks in a Bottle. You are absolutely like gonna be down for that. I'm gonna skip this topic just for a little while. So let's move on to one specific death that has happened in celebrity news. I'm gonna hit, like I always do, the celebrity deaths that have happened in the last week. One specific death happened, and it is a major role in deaths of a celebrity. Mr. James Earl Jones passed away this week. Uh, I believe he was 93 years old. I'll have to look it up one more time, but I am pretty sure he was 93 years old. He was 93 years old when he died. I was correct.
That man's my fucking childhood, dude.
So, get talking about like Star Wars and stuff. Mainly Star Wars.
The fuck, what? Fucking Mufasa.
So yeah, so you're getting in '90s baby stuff. All right, I can get where you're getting at. Yeah. James Earl Jones is gone,
He
bro.
did so much more than that, though.
He was the most well known for his Star Wars Darth Vader. Like, bro, he's gone.
Yeah. I had a when I worked at Avail Vapor, I had a boss, Tim Hale. He was an extra in a movie with James Earl Jones. He was just one of the extras, like pushing like a person on a gurney, like through the hospital, and then it would show a scene where James Earl Jones is right there, and I'm like, damn, that was my boss. So yeah, that's pretty devastating to hear that he died. But man, I know he had to live a great life.
Man, to hear Star Wars can't be remade, that's actually kind of a great thing to think about. Like, you can't reboot Star Wars without James Earl Jones.
Unless
Can't
if
do it. You can't
he
do it. Morgan Freeman can't do it.
unless if he gave his voice to AI, then
Bro,
it's definitely obvious.
yeah, you want to go AI with me right now? You really want to change topics over from James Earl Jones to AI?
I'm just saying, even though he's dead, they can take AI and still sit there and take his voice and use it.
Bro, I just watched.
I
I just watched the most horrible Paul Walker AI that I've ever watched in my entire life earlier today.
There's horrible, but there's some.
This was horrible. It was Paul Walker's face, but not his teeth. It wasn't fucking Paul Walker's teeth. He sat there and this guy was like, "Hey, I'm Paul Walker," and like he's sitting there the entire time. I'm Paul Walker, and
great gum.
I started in my first movie was this. And what really gave me my name was Fast and the Furious. And he's talking with that bottom lip. It was horrible. Absolutely the worst tribute to AI that you get. Paul Walker's main fucking thing, his main tribute is his brother. That is the only person that can play Paul Walker and pull off AI, or not AI, but pull off AI generated Paul Walker is his brother. 100% absolutely it's his brother. He's supposed to play in the new or the last part of Fast and Furious, which is Fast X Part 2, which makes it Fast XI. I'm just saying it's XI, not X.
I think it'd be.
It's XI, which is 11. But they're doing it Fast X Part 2.
Yeah, to me that sounds.
It's absolutely ridiculous. They're lauded for 13 movies.
That's like when Final Fantasy X, you know, they made a Final Fantasy X 2. They made sure to specifically make sure, like, hey, it's still 10, but second 2. They were very specific on that.
So, Hammy Games hasn't responded. Hammy Games normally is really down for VC. It is really late for him. He shows online. Not gonna discredit him at all. I'm sure he will message me or he will watch this at a later time. Uh, Anyways, so there's a Miami Dolphins, which is his team. There's a Miami Dolphins player that was pulled over for reckless driving because he was speeding and was on his way to an NFL game. Not gonna name the player specifically. It is public. I don't have it pulled up, which is why I'm not naming the player specifically. I'm just going off a recollection of what I read, and I just can't remember his name. Anyways, he was pulled over because he was reckless driving and he was going a certain speed, and they ended up placing him in handcuffs and took him to jail right before the game. So as of right now, this person is calling for those police officers to be dismissed from their jobs because he is an NFL player and he was unjustly pulled over. So if you kind of get where I'm getting at, Lip, it doesn't really matter that he's an NFL player, but it kind of does at the same exact time because he's famous, he thinks he is above the law. And he should have just been released because he was going really fast and was driving really recklessly just to get to a football game. Does that justify him to just be let go?
So recklessly, you're saying like he went above 25 over the speed limit.
He was, I think they clocked him at almost 120. And why maybe 50? He was going fast. He was going super fast. And I'm not quoting the 120. It might not have been 120. He was on a Florida road going quite a bit over. Anyone in the chat that's watching, they can quote what he was going. I'm not going to look it up. I'm just going off of memory and saying,
oh yeah, that's way too fast.
Dude was recklessly driving. They had probable cause to pull him over. And they had probable cause.
If you're going 70, I mean, that's the usual fucking miles per hour on a highway.
Do you
70, 75, like.
So do you think as a police officer that you should know that someone's famous? Or should you just treat them like any everyday person?
No, you're a normal fucking person. Like,
it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're the president of the United States.
Timely order and not running late and professional like the NFL player that you're supposed to be, you wouldn't have to worry about it. No.
Whether you're the president of the United States, would you would do the same thing to them? There's some people that might not know who the fucking president of the United States is and pull them over and be like, not even recognize them. Yeah. Are you expected to be
treated? Even so, once they got to a certain point, you wouldn't be able to do that much because there's only one person that can arrest the president.
So he was doing 20 over and a 40 posted. So he was doing 60 miles an hour in a 40 in Tampa Bay. Or
60 and a 40?
In Miami, not Tampa. He was doing 60 and a 40.
That was the reckless driving, though?
Yeah.
60 and a 40?
20 is
That's not even a felony, though.
it's
Well, it
not.
may be different in Florida.
Well, still,
Here, though, it's
20
25 over to be a felony.
Florida may be different, but he was
Yeah,
doing
that's what I was
20 over. They have probable cause to pull you over. It is actually officer's discretion on what reckless driving is.
It's still not that much, but he still doesn't need to think that his shit don't stink. He needs to think, like, I'm a normal person.
So
like,
him calling for those officers to be relieved of their duties for pulling him over because he's an NFL star. How do you feel about that?
I feel that because he said that, should probably be suspended. At least for probably about a month and a half.
As far as I know, and still I'm still not looking at it. I have other things that I'm going to look at with us. The coach has not commented on this. I had read a little bit on it a couple of days ago, and I knew I wanted to talk about it on the TheDeltaBB Unfiltered. Then I read today to where he wanted the officers to be dismissed. So at one point he had said, like, the officers did their job. Like, they had a job to do, they did it, and like he was okay with what happened. Now the story completely flips, and it's, I want them dismissed for what they did. I was wrongly justed. How do you flip on that to where you're like, okay, it's okay, I'm good. They did their job. I'm fine with they did their job. I'll take my repercussions for them doing their jobs. And then you flip it and you're like, boom, you know what? They did their jobs, but I don't agree with it. And I want them dismissed because they handled themselves incorrectly. I can probably pull you up some body cam footage because I think some has already been released if you would like to see it and make your own opinion. Would you like to see some body cam footage?
I mean, I wouldn't mind. I mean,
Alright, so we're going to get a shout out to WPLG Local 10. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to watch a video. We're going to let Thor catch up for a sec.
For all my other sample libraries. This is Arcade by Output. This thing has sounds, samples, instruments, effects, everything you could ever need all in one place. I remember a friend of mine sent
6, Dolphins star wide receiver Tyreek Hill pulled over and cuffed on the side of the road right outside the Hard Rock Stadium on his way to the game.
And the Miami-Dade Police Department announcing an immediate review of the incident and placing one of the officers involved on administrative duty. So let's get right over to Will Manso, who is live at the Hard Rock Stadium with the latest on Hill's detainment. Will.
Well, the Dolphins are no stranger to controversy and drama over the years, but this one may top them all. Just hours before their season opener, and here outside of Hard Rock Stadium, their star receiver Tyreek Hill, the man who was just recently voted the best player in the NFL by his colleagues, was put into handcuffs by police. And the question now remains, why?
Keep your window down. Keep your window down, I'm gonna get you out of the car. As a matter of fact, get out of the car. Get out of the car.
Dolphin star wide receiver Tyreek Hill slowed down before even stepping onto the field. The scene just outside of the stadium captured on cell phone video by stunned fans as Hill was detained by police, even taken to the ground and handcuffed. Hill played the game and said this afterwards about the incident.
I've been trying to figure that out too, man. Right now I'm still trying to put it all together. It wasn't disrespectful, you know, because my mom didn't raise me that way. Didn't cuss. I don't want to bring it race into it, but sometimes it gets kind of iffy when you do.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Oh, a moderator just unmuted.
Excuse me?
Oh, fuck. A moderator wanted to speak out on this. BB is about to say it. Hold on. Hold on, Shadows. I got you. Bro. You were fucking breaking the fucking law. You were going over 20 miles over the speed limit.
Hold on. So, no. Were there no black officers there?
What does that have to do with anything?
That has everything to do with it. He just said something to deal with his color, like that's what he just said.
But what does color have to do? Does a colored officer have to be there?
That's what I'm saying. No, yes, it does. If he's saying that it's because he's black, then he's saying that it's because.
Let's rewind.
Yeah, let's go see if there's any black officers.
So let's rewind.
That's my
I
opinion.
already see one head. I see one head. See that same head?
I can't tell what that. Yeah,
That's a helmet.
All right, we're gonna rewind some more.
Stadium captured
The
on
one to
cell
the
phone
right.
video by
Let's just see.
stunned fans
It is a helmet.
as Hill was detained by police, even taken to the ground and handcuffed. Hill played the game and said this afterwards about the
I don't
incident.
see one
I've
single.
been trying to figure that out too, man. Right now I'm still trying to.
Okay, why he said that? There was nothing but white law officers that were on him. That's why he made that comment. That's how I look at it. Is that he's making that comment because there were no black officers. That's how I look at it. Is because he said it's because the color of his skin is why he was treated that way.
You can't really bring race into it.
He just did.
He did. He did. But we are deciphering this together on the TheDeltaBB Unfiltered. You just so happen to be brought into it, and we're getting mine and your opinion at the same time. So whether our opinions are completely across the spectrum, he was not wrong. He was not wronged at all in this. He was wrong by going over 20 miles an hour over the speed limit. They had every single right to pull him outside of that vehicle.
Yeah.
100%.
No.
They can ask him to step out. It doesn't matter if they were white, blue, Barney. It doesn't matter what the fuck they are. They could have been a purple fucking dinosaur like Barney is. Paw Patrol could have pulled him out. Old Chase could have pulled him out of that damn car. And we can talk about it all goddamn day.
But he's trying to make it about the color of his skin.
Which is why
That's what he's trying to do.
What I'm collecting on this, so like I said, I haven't read much. I've read a little bit on it. I haven't read much of why he's asking for the officers to be dismissed. I guess we're about to find out why he's asking for the officers to be dismissed. Does not make sense to me at all. Because you're famous does not give you a pass.
He sounds like he's trying to give a hint.
So I can tell you now that I don't feel sorry for this guy. 100%. Without finishing watching this, I can tell you I do not feel sorry for this guy. You had said it earlier. You would not have been going 20 miles over the speed limit if you would have been on time to your game.
Formal.
Should have been formal. Should have been punctual. You should have been dressed out and ready to go. You're 20 minutes late to the game. Guess what? The game's already fucking started. So you're already late. So is there a coach's statement at some point? Let's finish watching the video.
Put it all together. It wasn't disrespectful, you know, because my mom didn't raise me that way. Didn't cuss. I don't want to bring race into it, but sometimes it gets kind of iffy when you do. You feel me? So what if I wasn't Tyreek Hill? Lord knows, like, what that guy or guys would have did. You feel me? I was just making sure that,
My bad,
you know,
guys.
I was
You guys didn't get to watch the video on live
what my
stream?
uncle always told me to do whenever you in a situation like that. Just listen. Put your hands on the steering wheel. Just listen.
Hill was stopped by Miami-Dade police for a driving violation and eventually cited for reckless driving. I drove past the scene on my way to the game and saw Hill's agent, Drew Rosenhaus, by his side. We spoke to him on the field a short time later.
There's no criminal charges. He wasn't arrested. He just got a ticket for reckless driving, evidently, going into the stadium. We'll obviously dispute that. That's their version. But the most upsetting part is the way that he was treated. Tyreek's not a guy that should be at his own stadium in handcuffs. We're going to look.
You were placed in handcuffs. We're gonna dispute it because you're on the way to your own stadium. Because you are a Miami Dolphins player. We're gonna dispute it. He was given a citation and it was wrongly adjusted. Pretty much what that guy just said. They didn't
honestly hear the fucking Oakland Raiders team talk. Fucking Dolphins. I mean,
let's finish it out.
into it. This isn't over.
But how it got from a traffic stop to handcuffs is the question Miami-Dade police now face. In a statement, Miami-Dade Police Director Stephanie Daniels said, quote, "Following the incident involving Tyreek Hill, I have initiated an internal affairs investigation to ensure a thorough review of the matter. One of the officers involved in the incident has been placed on administrative duties while the investigation is being conducted. I'm committed to transparency and accountability to the community with any situation involving my officers," end quote. For his part, Hill celebrated his touchdown in the Dolphins' win by throwing his hands behind his back as if he were in cuffs, and afterwards saying he appreciated the support of his.
Okay. Here we go. This is where TheDeltaBB Unfiltered becomes TheDeltaBB Unfiltered. Oh my fucking god. Like, oh shit. That motherfucker literally just put his hands behind his back to show recognition that he was let go with a ticket and he won't be held down. I'm assuming that's what that fucking meant. That reminds me, dude, I don't watch the fucking NFL, and there's a reason I don't watch the fucking NFL.
too much drama.
When them motherfuckers took a knee and decided they weren't going to pledge the fuck to allegiance, they weren't gonna bow down to the fucking national anthem, and they took a knee instead of putting their hands over that fucking heart, bro, you're not American. Fuck that bullshit. Go ahead. A moderator has a question.
Since when does an NFL coach become a defense attorney?
Good fucking question.
This just
I have one too.
Yeah, go ahead. We got another moderator.
Since when is it correct or socially correct to involve race to it?
Do you guys remember? Now, this is the moderators just asked the question. Do you guys remember when they took a knee for the national anthem during the Super Bowl fucking game. There's multiple
During the
people. It wasn't
play
just one. There was one that started it.
Kaepernick was he was the big Kaepernick.
Y'all remember
call him
that shit?
Kaepernick?
Yeah, Kaepernick.
Is that it? Kaepernick?
Kaepernick.
Yeah.
Y'all remember that shit?
Something like that. Yeah.
That is
he
the
definitely
most
took-
un-American shit that you can fucking do, and that's become a fucking thing to where
Well, he
it's,
definitely was an American.
Well, that's a fucking thing. They can take a knee. They can take a knee during the national anthem. Motherfucker, stand.
Why are you here in America playing fucking American football? If you don't stand for America.
Stand up and put your damn hand across your fucking heart, just like the rest of us do. You don't
stand for America. Why are you here?
You don't see this shit at an NBA game. You don't see this shit at an MLB game. You don't see this shit in the fucking NBR. Or NBR. You don't see it at the National Bull Rodeo. You don't see that bullshit. They
You
get
mean PBR?
Or no, there, yeah. Well, no, there's an NBR too. You don't
Provo's Reading.
There's a National Bull Rodeo too. You don't see this shit in these things. You only see them get away with this shit in the NFL. The NFL is way too fucking political. This is why I don't fucking watch it. It's way too fucking political.
Too much drama.
But the NFL is also fucking rigged. If you don't know it, it's just like Santa Claus.
In college, when you watch a college football, it all depends on their fucking education and fucking shit like that.
College ball is getting about the same though. To where you get in,
really?
You get into college ball, them fucking players are being paid to play, just like in NFL. That's why you hear them second string seniors, them third string seniors.
Still, you got them guys that want to be in the NFL. You know, if they want to be in the NFL, they're going to want to be as professional as possible. But that's the crazy thing. You want to look as professional as possible to end up in this fucking dramatic ass.
But you get into the NFL, you're making millions playing.
Yeah.
You can retire in a couple of years. You know, you got the Mannings that played for many of years in the NFL. You got Peyton that won multiple. You got Eli that won multiple championships. Okay.
We want to talk about some money. We're going to talk about boxing.
You want to talk about the Mannings? You get into where one decided they were going to retire, and the year that they decided they were going to retire, they won the fucking Super Bowl ring. The year that he retired, he comes out of retirement, says he's going to retire again, won a second Super Bowl ring 2 years later. Make that make sense. Make that make sense.
I think the Mannings retired and they didn't come.
Your mic broke up a little bit.
The Mannings stayed out when they retired. I think you were talking about Tom Brady when he retired, went back, and then retired again.
No, one of the Mannings did come back, but Tom Brady did come back 2 times. He retired twice. Mannings did the same thing though. You get into this, and it's like boom. It's fucking political. It's almost watching the NFL is like watching fucking wrestling. It's rigged. It's absolutely fucking rigged. The NFL knows who's gonna win, what game, and why. It's who is the most successful NFL team and who is rooting for that NFL team and you get into social media at that point, who's rooting for that team? Who's saying, "Oh, I'm a 49ers fan. Oh, I'm a Ravens fan. Oh, I'm a Raiders fan." Who is the most successful on social media at that very time? Their pregame may be completely unbiased, but you get into the main season and you have a certain person that's rooting for them. That's why fucking Kentucky has gotten as far as they've gotten. That's why they have won as many championships in the last couple of years as they've won. It is based off of who is going for that team at that time. I remember hearing who dat, and the Saints fucking being there. The Saints went to the Super Bowl 2 times in 2 years because everyone was about who dat. Tell me if I'm wrong. Anyways, we're gonna finish this video out.
His teammates.
I'm just glad that my teammates were there to like support me in that situation because I felt alone, you know. And when they showed up, it made me realize that we got a good team this year.
As we come back out live, joined now by Clay Ferrero. The story does not stop there. You heard Hill reference teammates coming to his aid. One of them, Calais Campbell, a newcomer, even ended up also in handcuffs. Clay picks up the story from there.
Yeah, Campbell and also Jonnu Smith, another one of Tyreek Hill's teammates, actually saw Hill being detained by police. They stopped by the side of the road to see what was going on. And as you mentioned, Campbell himself ended up being detained.
Disobeying a direct order, which I think, I guess I wasn't, he said I was too close to the scene, and then I think he said something about, like, me not moving my car in time, but, I don't know. I mean, he told me later that I could stand 25 feet away, and that's fine. I was definitely further than 25 feet away when it happened.
It's obviously, I was checking on my teammate, so it was some words said, and, I just wanted to make sure he was good, and, just concerned about his safety, man. Obviously, we all see the police brutality that goes on in this country. And, when you see your teammate possibly being a part of that, you're doing everything in your power to help him. So, that was, unfortunate situation, but we made it through. Yeah.
Really just happy with the way that our team came together when teammates were in need. I think that I was proud of other guys jumping in to try to help a teammate, and then all the support.
And Will, that seemed to be the common theme, that they were very thankful that nobody was hurt and that everybody kind of came together after everything that went down this morning.
Needless to say, a bizarre day here at Hard Rock Stadium. We'll continue to cover that part of the story as well, of course, but we also have football to talk about. The Dolphins winning this opener. We'll have that later in sports. As for from here in Hard Rock Stadium, I'm Will Manso alongside Clay Ferrero, Local 10 News.
So you get into that multiple people stopped, and seeing the scene that was up, lost the third drunk. Hang on one sec. We're gonna get the third drunk back in here. All right, can you hear me, Lip?
Yep.
All right, so finishing that video out and hearing that, like, there's another player that stopped, and he was apparently within 25 feet of the scene, so they got him for obstruction. That's pretty much what they got him for, was obstruction of justice. So apparently he had to have been confrontational. They probably didn't just tell him, hey, step back. They probably actually did tell him, hey, step back, you're too close. And apparently he got too close to the scene.
Yeah, they don't.
Your mic broke up.
For no reason.
Sorry, I'm going to correct you on it. I want to make sure that everyone hears you. So we're going to move on away from that. Let me find another topic real quick. You know what? I got one. Hunter's already. I think Hunter may have seen my. He laughed. So this is a text gone wrong, and it has to do with an ex-girlfriend, and they commentated as the worst converse. Oh, there goes the doggy. It goes for. Oh, I'm showing up in Thor's camera. Hey, Thor's camera. All right, so he's going to take a. This is the first actually in the TheDeltaBB Unfiltered. Hunter, can you fix that camera to where I don't show up in that camera? Hunter's going to fix that real quick. So, anyways, we're taking a brief intermission. Let's talk to some of the moderators at this point. So we just finished conversation. What do you guys think about the previous conversation that we just had about the Miami Dolphins? How do you think? What are you guys' opinions on what happened? We'll start with Decoy NDA.
Well, I do not watch NFL or almost any major teams anymore because, kids nowadays look to those people to be role models. And sorry, they're not. They're just normal people like the rest of us. They wake up every day, they put their pants on the same way, and they go out the door the same way we do.
So if you're so pretty much you're saying if you're going 20 miles over the speed limit, you're not above the law.
Where I live, if you do over 20 miles over the speed limit, your butt's in jail. It's a felony.
What do you think, Shadows Gaming, about that situation? What do you? Okay, so I'll ask this before we move on to you, Shadows. What do you think about the player interfering, Decoy? What do you think about the guy that interfered in that situation and he pulled up and he was just checking on his other player and they said that he wasn't 25 feet away? Did they have the right to do that?
I don't know what Florida statutes are, so I don't know what the safe distance is. I mean, I could have been a cop and I could have said, you need to be 50 foot away, or you need to be 100 foot away, or you need to be a half mile away. I mean, there's got to be something that says a scene is a definite radius of something.
Truly, do you say that race had anything to do with what was going on? You, as a previous LEO, would you say that anyone should have been put on administrative leave in the situation that happened?
I can't definitely say from the news report or the third-party camera angles that I saw from that news clip, but I will say that if I got to see the chest camera of one of the officers and hear that full audio uncut, I can make a better determination. I mean, eventually, I have a feeling that this will be on Audit the Audit YouTube channel before too awful long, because it's a very high up there, NFL player and a police interaction, and he'll give better representation on, he'll dig into the laws, he'll find it all out, he'll do FOAs to get the actual video cameras of the officers. He'll do a good job. But I have a feeling it'll be on Audit the Audit's video YouTube channel before too awful long.
I was actually about to say, if you guys are willing to hear it, I will FOIA, which is what Decoy and A was saying. I will FOIA, and I'm still on his camera, so Hunter knows. He said, audit the audit, like that 100%. We can hit this again. Play Audit the Audit's video and decipher that and make a determination on that. So Shadows Gaming, same questions for you that we just asked Decoy and DA, if you don't mind answering those questions.
I stopped watching NFL a few years back. What's up?
Go ahead.
Mike's being a jerk. I stopped watching a couple of years back due to all the stupid shit that's happening.
So how do you feel about the player being placed under arrest, and how do you feel about the other player that interfered with the scene? How do you feel about that part?
It's practically common sense not to do stupid shit.
So I mean that's not a bad analogy.
Oh, I'm famous. I can get away with whatever the fuck I want.
Not a bad analogy, a bad
shit.
analysis. How do you feel about the guy that was within 25 feet of the scene and also got placed in handcuffs? How do you feel about that situation?
He deserved it.
He was close. He was too close.
He deserved it.
All right, so we heard from the moderators. We got Chris Hemsworth. Fuck. Who am I interviewing again? Hey, what's your name?
Lip.
Again? Oh, fuck. Damn. I almost thought I was on TMZ here for a second. Anyways, baby Thor. Fuck. Lip.
Oh dear Lord.
Lip.
How many names do you give him tonight?
Hey, bro, hey, bro. So someone recalls a text gone wrong to an ex-girlfriend, and it was their worst conversation ever. And that person that recalled that text was Chris Hemsworth. Man, hey, y'all are related, right?
If only.
So y'all aren't related?
No.
All right, so Thor. I actually have not seen this. Has anyone seen the Transformer 1? Has that even been released? Has Transformers 1 been...
Dude, I haven't watched Transformers since the cartoon, bro.
I don't even need a moderator to look it up.
I haven't seen one single Michael Bay fucking...
no, Michael Bay stopped doing Transformers.
That's what I'm telling you. I ain't seen none of
moderator, any moderator, unmute whenever you look it up. Has Transformers 1 been released? Just at any point, just unmute.
Don't know.
It hasn't.
I don't know. I don't watch Transformers movies either.
Well, any of you look up as Transformers 1, because I haven't watched that one. Has
I'm a little too old for
Transformers 1
Transformers.
been released? Anyways, so Chris Hemsworth released a story about a texting mishap that he experienced with a high school ex-girlfriend. Many moons ago in high school, he had a girlfriend that he was trying to part ways with, and it was really a long conversation. He really didn't kind of know that it was a breakup. He said that his mate texted him, said how'd it go, so his buddy texted him, and he had said it was the worst conversation ever. Hang on, I'm getting to it. He texted photos of his colonoscopy to his Uber driver. And said, "Don't ask me who I was trying to send photos of the colonoscopy to," is what his Uber driver had said. Hemsworth, his love life has come a long way since he awkwardly tried to break up with his high school girlfriend. They're constantly going from friends to enemy. It's almost what siblings do. It's pretty similar to how a normal household relationship would go. There was no light bulb moment as Hemsworth reflected. From the first time we met, we just made sense. She's fun, she's outgoing, and she has a sense of humor and passionate attitude. Decade later, he added her to his marriage list. So the story actually never got anywhere. It's just they thought of him as the perfect couple. When she explained it in 2020, no way, it's been ups and downs, and they keep working on the relationship, and they think every relationship's an easy relationship, but it's not easy. So apparently, the moral of the entire fucking story, I guess, is that he texted a picture of his colonoscopy to his Uber driver.
Uber driver.
Uber driver.
Uber driver.
Uber driver.
The Uber driver.
And
the trans.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Shadows. What'd you say?
And the Transformers 1 will be released the 20th of this month.
Really? Probably won't watch
Yeah,
it.
7 more days.
I didn't care for Bumblebee.
So Michael Bay did not make.
Michael Bay, Michael Bay is absolutely done with Transformers. I can tell you he was not the director of Transformers 1. I mean, you get into Ultron and Megatron, like, they didn't depict the story to... Michael Bay didn't even depict the story to what it was in the 90s, 80s cartoons. Michael Bay completely dropped the ball. And then you add in fucking Mark Wahlberg into the picture in the Michael Bay films, and it just completely went downhill. If you possibly would have went off the timeline with Shia LaBeouf, which back in that time, Shia LaBeouf was bad on drugs and all that good shit. if they would have continued with the Shia LaBeouf story, it possibly could have grown a little bit more. But the story just continued to grow, and it grew to where no one cared. That's exactly where it went. Was it grew to where no one cared.
I'll watch them just to watch them.
You get into the Autobots were pretty and stuff like that, and you get into where the Decepticons were they were all the same color. I guess that was to depict where it was going, but if you go cartoon comic side, don't have them differentiated like that. You knew who was who back in that time, and in the cartoons, knew who was who Ultron was. You knew who Megatron was. The movies just did not do it, even with Michael Bay. It did not give justice to Transformers. 100%. All right, so we're gonna move on. Are you getting tired of me yet? Getting tired of me yet, Lip?
Oh, mate, no, how?
How can I get tired of you?
To get tired of you.
How am I supposed to get tired of you? He's like, you're the fucking first drunk. How am I supposed to get tired of you? I can't tell you I'm getting tired of you. So let's get in. You know what? I was gonna save this, and I still may ask it on another podcast. How do you feel about religion?
Me?
Yeah, you want to talk about a little bit of religion? I'm all about cancel culture. So you want to talk about some religion? This is going to be the final topic. This is the best thing about having you on this podcast is I haven't had to hit a computer screen. Except for the celebrities. I did not have to hit a computer screen. Religion, I'm not going to have to hit a computer screen. You ready to talk about it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm an Elohist Christian. I don't celebrate Easter or Christmas.
You don't celebrate pagan holidays.
Do not celebrate pagan.
All right, so
although I am very Viking at heart, it's so contradictive. Like,
so it's okay that you're that way, because you're gonna hear the Delta BB's thought on religion, and you give your opinion on your religion, and that's fine. Moderators may drop out. Hopefully, moderators don't drop out. So I had a question a few months ago at work, or a few weeks ago. It wasn't months; it was weeks. So I'm that kind of person. I believe in God, 100%. I do not believe that I have to go to church every Sunday. I believe that you can worship God on your own terms. And it doesn't have to be in a house of God to worship Him. I can give Him many prayers, and it is what it is. And they could be false prayers. That is what it is. We are all born into a life of sin.
His word is His word.
100%, we were born in a life of sin. Every single one of us were born in a life of sin. So my thing is, and the question I'm going to ask you is, so you have multiple Bibles. So you have the New Testament. So I guess I'm talking Christianity at this point. You have the New Testament, you have the Old Testament, you have King James. So you have all these multiple versions of this Bible, and there's more than just King James and all that good, all that good shit. I guess I'm just gonna put it that way. You have all that good shit. But that's a depiction of the Bible. So that's told from a certain person's depiction of the Bible. And a lot of people will say that, like, okay, I read it was based off of the original Bible, and that was translated into this, that was translated into this. So my defense is with the Bible is, okay, Lip, I'm going to tell you a secret. Now, are you following me?
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to tell you a secret. Lip, you're the best person that I've ever heard. Like, you're the best person. I know you're awesome, dude. All right, so Decoy and DA. Hey, Lip is the best person. I'm going to tell you that I just told Lip that he's the best person. So Decoy and DA, one of the moderators, he's going to pass that. All right, so Decoy, pass that off to Shadows. Tell Shadows what you're going to tell him. Anyways, we come full circle, and you find out that Decoy told him something different, and Shadows tells the next person something different.
I think I'm lost.
No, you're not lost. I'm saying that there's multiple versions of the Bible, but I'm also using it as an analogy. So, Lip, you're the best person ever, but you continue to tell it down the line. When does it become not deciphered to where eventually the person that is continuously deciphering it is telling a different story? Because eventually a different story is going to be told than the original story.
It's similar to like how they would show you in school how rumors can be passed.
So you're on the same level that I am. You're getting what I'm saying.
Say you have 30 students into a classroom, and you tell that first person, "Hey, I want you to give a peppermint to this person." By the end of by the time you get to that 30th person, it may have turned into something about Thanksgiving and the cranberry sauce for some strange fucking reason, because that's how rumors go. And they try to show you an example. They start by by the beginning, they're like, "I'll give you this," and then by the end of it, you're like, that's not what I said. That's not even anywhere close to what I said.
So do you kind of get where I'm getting at with that? Like, the Bible is kind of the same thing, to where, like, so many people have told it, and there's a lot of people that are devout Christians. So you're a whole entire different religion, which is why this is kind of like perfect to talk about, because you have an entire different belief.
And I coexist as well. I don't judge others.
So you have these Christians that just say, like, this is it. But where do you get at a certain point that says, okay, I believe in this? And a lot of people say, okay, well, you have to reference. So I had brought up 3 Bibles. I brought up the Old Testament, I brought up the New Testament, and I brought up King James. So, thing is, you have to decipher, what was, Hindu? What was the fucking, someone correct me, because I know I'm wrong. It's not Hindu.
What is it? What did you say?
What is the original language spoken in the Bible?
Oh, yeah, that should be Hebrew.
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 So you have to decipher Hebrew in the original Bible to give you translation over, which is where my point comes up. You have to originally go Hebrew, and you have to translate it to the Old Testament. Then you have to translate the Old Testament to the New Testament, and then you have to translate the New Testament into King James. So you have 4 different translations just off of like Christianity, off of one Bible. Is there a loss in translation at some point between those? Because the thing is, they always say if you're reading King James, you have to go back to the Hebrew Bible, but they all add up at some point. Yes, I'll go ahead and say, yes, I believe in God. 100%. Yes, I have doubts in my God. 100%. Everyone has doubts in God at some point. Yes, I believe in sin. Heaven and hell? Heaven and hell is hard on that one. I tell my best of friends, and this is a laughing matter between all of us. Hunter is no longer sitting behind me. I'm assuming he's done went to bed. I tell my friends 100%, and I have been told, bro, you need to be saved. I hold my tickets, mine and my friends' tickets to hell. We've done some not so fucked up shit, apparently. We've done some shit, but we all hold our ticket to hell. That's a bad way to think about it. 100%. That we hold our tickets to hell. There's a joke behind it. There is a joke behind it. But I believe in heaven and hell. I do believe in that. I would love for you to give your insight as a different religion, which is why I brought this up, to talk about your religion and what it means to you.
Well, I just like how they read in between the lines and everything, how they decipher the Bible. And one thing I can say about, how things can be broken in translation, that is right. But if you look in the similarities of every single Bible or mythology or theology, you look at it that way. If you look at every single type of manuscript, they're all similar. They are all similar. And you just go through every single one and they all have like a similar story. And it all seems to me, it all starts with the hallucinogenic. Or if you want to think about it in ways of the Bible, um, Moses came across the burning bush, apparently marijuana.
Hold on. Moses didn't part the Red Sea?
Yes. Remember when he spoke to the burning bush?
Alright. Been a minute since I've been in church.
So he spoke to the burning bush.
I thought you were getting something separate than the Red Sea.
No, you've got to be pretty fucking high if you're talking to a bush. That's the way I look at it. So yeah, and through the Vikings and stuff, they took mushrooms and stuff, found their gods. Uh every religion they go through a type of hallucinogenic trip that kind of leads them not exactly to their God, but on a pathway for them to understand their. And so that's what I mean by like I coexist. I try to understand everybody, all religions, But I also try to understand mine as well. And like I said, ours just tries to read in between the lines, um, like how the Bible discusses how the Antichrist was taught. So it says something about times, and times again. Um, 1780 something. There was a French pope that taught branded as the Antichrist, and he was executed. It's just something that our church kind of like looks into. They just look in that in between. Um, they do kind of segregate sexes in the church. Um, Studies is very, very dedicated, and that's like you said. It doesn't have to be specifically dedicated to the day of church that you go to. It could be on your own time. I don't.
Well, that's my big thing. Is like
You don't need to dedicate an entire day
but
to go to church.
a lot of Christianity is built off of like you got to go to church on Sunday and Wednesday, and
America's fucking.
well, it is because guess what? They passed that offering plate both days of the week. Like you get what I'm getting at. Like that's what pays that pastor's bills is the person that the most people that show up to that church. That's what, and it's bad to put it that way, but they're in the tax bracket. Wait, they're not in tax. Fuck. Oh, hands up. They're not in the tax bracket. But you kind of get what I'm getting at too. Like that offer
You putting into that church puts you a good standpoint in with the city or anything else that pastor has good ties in with.
So I don't think that like the 10% that you're supposed to give God or 8%. What is it? I'm pretty sure it's 10% of your pay is supposed to.
I thought it was 20%.
Is it 20?
Yeah, I thought it.
You're probably right. I don't fucking know. 20% of your pay is supposed to go to God. Bro, I'm blue collar folk. I cannot give you 20% of my pay because I'm already giving 20% of my pay to Uncle Sam. You're talking about 40 fucking percent of my pay is going to somebody else but me. And I still have to fucking live at the end of the day.
That's what I'm saying. Times change.
Well, that's what I was getting at. Was
the
time
Bible was written so long
so
ago.
I had brought this point up to where like the Bible is outdated. And it's bad to say it. Someone needs to depict that shit again because it is outdated. Someone needs to see the Holy Ghost. Someone needs to see the Father, the Holy Ghost, and
trying to
the prophets
up and do shit. They need to actually rewrite about
They need to
the Bible.
They need to rewrite that shit for now, because if you are continuously giving 20% to God and you're putting that in the offering plate, bro, they're getting rich. Your pastors, your pastor, your priest, I almost went with
Where's Timmy?
Allah is fucking getting rich right now. There was
priest, so I was like, "Where's Timmy?"
Yeah, Timmy's probably watching this shit. But you're getting to a point that, like, bro, the blue collar folk is not winning at all. If you work for a living, 100%. And you're trying to make ends meet, you cannot give 20% to God. You cannot fucking put that in offering plate every single week. Because you're not. I hate.
10% is what you gonna have to get. I'm sorry.
I hate to fucking break it to you. Give 20%. God's not getting that. God is not getting 20% of your pay. They don't send that shit to heaven. It's not going to get you any further giving God 20% in that offering plate. I'm going to turn it over to the moderators for a second and see what the moderators think about the conversation that we just had. I'm not going to ask any of the moderators any questions. You just give your position on religion, and we're going to start with Decoy NDA just like I did before, and then we'll move over to Shadows Gaming. Go ahead, Decoy.
Religion is one of those types where it's hard to actually define what it is. I mean, I grew up in a house where we were told, literally at the age of 10, go out into the world, find your religion. So I tried literally all of them: Catholic, Baptist, Presbyterian, Methodist, Seventh-day Adventist. The only ones I steered clear of was the J-Dubs and the Mormons. Outside of that, I don't really go to church or anything like that anymore. I mean, my firm belief would be Southern Baptist, but more down the lines of now like a free thinker. So it's like, yes, there's a God, there's a heaven and hell, but not confined to any church or anything like that. I would say, churches to me are just a social gathering place, and it's not needed to show any religion. As long as you believe in like either God, Jesus, the Holy Ghost, whatever, then you're good to go. I mean, knowing right or wrong is something that you definitely got to learn when you go through, but you can also have what they call tribalism, to where it's like you believe in what you are brought up to believe compared to what you need to find out if it's good or bad. So a good way to put it is like what George Carlin once said. If you didn't know, George Carlin has, before he died and everything, actually came out as an atheist. But he said he's not truly an atheist because he does believe in something. He believes there's no God. So if you believe that there's no God, then it's actually a religion and not an anti-religion, because you have to believe there is no God. And if you do believe that, then you believe in something. He's got a good valid point on that. And then another one, he says this frisbeeism is his religion. Because it's like a frisbee. You throw it up in the air, it can come back down to you, or you can throw it up in the air and it gets stuck on a roof. So that's why I more or less see myself more as a free thinker. I believe in a being. I believe, everything, but I look more towards the scientific side of it.
You're good, Steve. Still there, Steve?
Oh, I'm here.
You're good to keep going?
No, I'm good. I'm done.
That was it?
That's it.
felt like you had. Felt like you had a pause. Felt like you had a
Oh
pause.
no.
Shadows, how do you feel about the conversation that we just had?
I'm more of a neutral.
You got to give us a little more than neutral.
I believe in God and
Your mics might be breaking
Yeah.
up. You believe in God and what?
that there's a God in
The God and you broke up again.
hell.
So you believe there's God in hell. Do you devout yourself to a certain religion?
Nope.
Understand that.
The only time I've been to a church is for funerals.
All right, Lip, you ready for the end of this? You ready for the end of the TheDeltaBB Unfiltered? Because I am about to twist your entire fucking world upside down. So, you didn't pick up on the mic. What did you just say?
Let's do it.
All right, so this goes for all of the moderators as well. The moderators don't have to answer this question, but if they have a answer to this question, they can do so. If you were to change yourself from yesterday, how would you change what you did yesterday until today? So when I ask this question, it's not literal on if you could change yourself yesterday. It's just how can you change yourself in general to make yourself a better person? If you've made your wrongs, how can you right your wrongs and how would you do it? Is pretty much the question. So if there's any wrongs in your life, how can you change them and why? With no regrets. There's no such thing as I cannot right my wrong. There's no such question as you're just a perfect human being. What have you done wrong in your life and how could you change it? Is pretty much the question.
Not that you could write them, but because they were wrong, what made you wrong?
Speaking to the mic.
Because I don't think that the things that happened to me so far in my life wouldn't have made me driven.
Speaking to the mic.
I'm trying to. I'm right up on it.
All right.
Eat
there
the
you go.
mic.
There you go.
Yeah, I know. I'm not used to eating a fucking mic. You know, you
What is something you think you could have done better in your life? I know something about you.
there's things that I could have done better in my life.
I
but
know.
it's like,
I know something
I
about
couldn't have
you.
really changed it.
I know something.
And
I know something about you, and I'm not trying to call you out. But do you mind if I call you out?
Yes.
Okay, we didn't talk about it beforehand, and normally on these podcasts, I would normally ask, like how you felt about it. So, I know that you have a child.
I have 2 children.
So, do you want to talk about your 2 children and maybe how that could have changed? Or how...
That's what I'm saying. The way the things that unfolded as they did, it's made me who I am and maybe more dedicated and a better person that I could show to my kids now. I still felt like I would have been a great father, you know, even if I was to be able to be there in their life. But it's not like I haven't tried. I've tried to be there.
Being with you, you've talked highly of both of your kids over the last few months, and getting to hear your story, like, bro, it's rough. Your story has been rough.
Yeah, I mean,
your story has absolutely been rough. Like, especially on one specific one. Like, you want to be there 100%, and not being allowed to be there. And there's probably not a story of where you could have changed it, and that sucks.
but when the opportunity comes and they'll get to meet who their father is and what he's built up.
Are you okay with this being out in the public? I know this wasn't talked about in the podcast, or you kind of look upset with me a little bit. Or,
no, this is fine. This is fine.
So you're not upset with this?
No.
Yeah, anything else you want to add?
Nothing will change that I love my children.
Did I take away from your spotlight? Was there something else that you had that maybe you wish you would have changed? I hate to have taken away from your spotlight a little bit.
No, I mean, I don't think I could have done anything differently. I think it was going to be the way it was going to be either way. I don't think there was anything I could do to change it. Even if I could go back in time now, I don't think there would be anything to change it. I think that it was just going to be the way it's going to be. Like I said, it's made me who I am today. I don't think I'd be as strong-willed and motivated. I mean, I would be if I had my children beside me, but in order to be as motivated as I can be, is to know that I can live healthy and
Bro,
try to make sure I can see the next day to be able to be like, okay, here's my children. Hey, I'm here. I'm healthy. I'm alive.
Speaking from like someone that actually knows you, like, fucking, hey, this dude is fucking as strong-willed as I know. Like, he puts his all into everything. We threw him into the third drunk, and he didn't even know he was going to be the third drunk. We just fucking was like, bro, you're third drunk, and do you accept or do you deny? And he became the third drunk, and he has put his all into three drunks, and couldn't be more grateful for Lip. Like, dude has been a savior, and he can deny it all day long. We have been successful on our own, but me and Hunter have never been successful on our own. If that makes any sense to anybody, is that me and Hunter can't do it by ourselves. So me and Hunter cannot have a podcast with just me and Hunter. We have been friends for so fucking long that our personalities aren't even personalities. It's just
Viva la revolution.
It's just dry humor. And only we get each other's dry humor. There's a couple of people that get our dry humor and they laugh at it, but we don't get this. You are literal glue, I guess, at this point. Like that that's literally what you have become, is the glue of.
I'm y'all's long lost drunk.
You are. You are. Does any of the moderators have anything that they could have changed better themselves? It's pretty much the questions that I had asked Lip. Do any of you have anything that you could have done better or could have changed to have bettered yourself? Do any of you moderators have an answer to that question?
It's kind of a hard one because if that's the case, I wouldn't be here today. Because I would be probably, I wouldn't have been into law enforcement. I would have probably been still stuck in a map dot somewhere out in the middle of the plains. And I would have probably been a chiropractor.
So what would you have changed? Is there anything you would have changed? Are you saying pretty much no? There's nothing you would have changed. You're content with how life went for you. Steve, I know you don't have kids, and I feel like you would have loved to have had kids of your own.
Yeah, that's kind of a
You
yes
would have been a
and
great.
no.
You would have been a great dad, dude.
I mean, that's kind of a yes and a no on, having kids. Yes, they can be fun at times, but no, they're way too much responsibility. I
I would
mean,
have loved to have you as a damn uncle, dude. 100%. I would have loved to have you as an uncle. Hearing the things that you do for your nieces and nephews, and
oh yeah, that's spoiled.
you actually getting to be a part of your nieces and nephews' lives on a day-to-day basis. You would have been a great dad, dude.
Yeah, they're spoiled. I mean, especially they spoil me a lot too. So I mean, they just literally got me into RC cars also. So it's like I got a rock crawler, then I got a 1/10 scale Bigfoot out in the garage I haven't even looked at yet. And I heard that thing can go up to 30 miles per hour. So it's like, oh, well, it's getting a little too chilly now. So it's like, I guess I'm going to have to wait until next spring before I crack that thing out of the box. But the oldest one, he's been eyeballing it.
So is there anything that you would have changed in life?
Like I said, when I was right around the age of 16, I had the opportunity, full medical scholarship.
That's
to
been
go to
116 years
school.
ago, just so that you guys know.
Yeah, pretty much. But I had a full medical scholarship to go become a chiropractor. My chiropractor was literally going to pay my way all the way through college, and then go work for him. But being a stupid kid, I literally turned it down. And then, literally about 5 years later, he got into a car wreck real bad, and he had to retire. So, I mean, I would have literally had the practice at that point from him with the clientele, everything been already established and everything else. But still, I turned it down, and then I literally got into the IT field, and then from that point, went on, then got into law enforcement on the side, then, did law enforcement IT and everything else, and then moved and then dropped the law enforcement and then kept doing the IT. So, I mean, it's a love-hate. I mean, thinking back, it's like, yeah, I could have had that lifestyle. I mean, chiropractors, they don't make a lot of money. They're not like a orthopedic surgeon or a brain surgeon or whatever that pulls in, $500,000 a year or more. I mean, they pull in a good sum of money, but it's not like a lot of people think. It's like they hear, oh, you're a chiropractor. Oh, you must make a lot of money.
Yeah, but is there still a part of you that still kind of, do you still wish, like, what if?
Um,
Job. Yep, you're asking questions
not
on Delta BB
not
Unfiltered.
really. It's like I
I mean,
don't
it kind of
really.
sounds like it. The way you kind of reminisce about it, it almost sounds
He
like,
could have had a whole
what if?
practice and been successful, and now that he's not
Well,
successful,
it's
like
only when people ask.
dude is not called Decoy NDA for no reason. He is successful in his job, 100%. Dude makes money.
It's well, I wish to think I do.
You make money, and you know you make money. Depending
Yeah,
on
but
what state
everybody
you
wants
live
to.
in.
Yeah, but everybody wants a piece of that money too. So, uh, but no, it's only when people ask me about if they're like this question. That's when I kind of reminisce more about it. It's something I don't dwell on a daily basis because one thing I've learned is like what's in the past stays in the past. Keep one foot in the future and keep moving forward.
I mean, you already
It's
know these are the questions that are going to be asked
Oh, I know that.
in this specific podcast. I ask that hard question always at the end, and it's a little bit different normally at the very end. You were asked a different question at the end of yours,
Mhm.
Decoy. You were the first guest of Delta BB Unfiltered, and your question was a little bit different than this one. And I always try to make it a little bit different than the last one. And this one, I'm surprised. Like you gave a heart on this one. Definitely reminisced. Told me a little bit about yourself that I didn't know. Uh, and Lip's question is still valid to where like, do you actually regret it? I guess because you are reminiscing on it. So, do you wish you were a chiropractor?
No, not
Do you wish
really.
you would have taken over that business?
Not really. I mean, I've still learned quite a bit
You've
about the
lived
chiropractic
you
field.
have been around the U.S.
Oh yeah.
In your like current state. You have lived in multiple places,
Hmm.
so you got to travel the world. Not travel the
Everywhere.
world, but you got to travel the you got to travel North America, and
Yeah,
you've been multiple states in North America.
I haven't really
But
been
you
to a
wouldn't have
lot of the
got to
northern
do you
states.
wouldn't have got to do that in your chiropractor state if you would have continued with that.
No.
Your job
Uh,
has allowed you to go where you want to go. I mean,
oh yeah.
you know,
And
you've lived in how many states?
uh, let's see. One, two, three, four, five, six states.
And that's just where you've got to live.
Right. And then states that I visited, it's one, two, three, four, five,
Take your shoes off, take your
six,
socks off, take the gloves off your hands because I know you love to wear mitts. So,
22.
See, he couldn't have 22. All right, he could have counted that on. No, he still couldn't have counted that on both hands. See, take the mitts off, Steve.
Nah, my thumb's kind of stew.
Uh,
I could have done it.
so 22 out of the 50 states,
Yep.
and you couldn't have done that as a chiropractor.
Oh no.
And your
That's
job,
what I was.
his job still requires him to be a part of NDA. He will never 100% tell you what his job does, especially on a live broadcast,
Nope.
will not tell you what his job thrives of. There's a reason for his name being Decoy non-disclosure agreement. Let's move on to Shadows and not dive further into Decoy. I love you, bro.
Yeah, but I got a
100%.
question for you after Shadow.
Oh, you have a question for me?
Yes.
Really? Me specifically?
Yeah.
All right. Remember your question. Take your Geritol. Make sure you remember that question.
Oh shit.
What do you got, Shadows?
Yeah, I'm content with how everything's gone for me.
There's no regrets. Nothing that you could have changed in your life. You're okay with how everything's going?
Yeah.
That's all you're gonna give me, bro. You give me the most short. Give me the most short everything. Yeah. Okay. You know what? We're gonna do that. Hold on. We're gonna do this with Shadows tonight. Shadows. You're content with how everything's going, correct?
Yep.
Give me your real name tonight.
Undebatable.
No, not undebatable. Give me your real name tonight on the podcast.
Nope, I don't disclose my real name on anything.
You'll give it to me after the podcast. I do not actually know your real name outside of Shadows Gaming.
There's a reason why I go by Shadows or the Shadows Gaming. I've actually had people try and make memes out of my actual name.
Can we talk about it after the podcast?
Yes.
Alright, we'll talk about it after the podcast. What do you have for me, Decoy and DA?
Okay. So, have you ever seen the movie Brewster's Million?
Brewster's Million?
Right, with Richard Pryor.
Okay.
It's like a 1980s movie.
I know Richard Pryor. I have not seen the movie you're referring to.
Okay, well, basically, he was to inherit $10 million, but he had to spend $1 million within 30 days. But he could not have anything in his possession, and he had to have receipts for it all. My question to you...
I think I know what you're talking about. But okay, yeah.
My question to you is, the same thing happened to you, but you had 10 days to get rid of $5,000. How would you do it?
Alright, so I have $5,000, and what's my stipulation again?
You have 10 days to get rid of all of it, but you can't buy anything for you, but you have to have a receipt for everything.
Alright, so $5,000. You're actually lucky, because I'm only going to do one thing with it. I paid Jess's car off. Because that's about what I owe on it. So, I give one receipt, and it has nothing to do with me. I didn't do it for me. I did it for Jess, and it's to pay off Jess's debt. And I know what we owe on the car, and it's about $5,000.
Okay.
And I'm free of a car payment, but guess what? I get to buy a brand new truck. I'm not buying a brand.
You can't use the 5,000. Just as long as you can't use the $5,000.
I'm not buying I'm not buying a brand new truck. That's kind of a thing too. Jess is the only one with a brand new car. I will not buy a brand new truck. Yeah, that's a whole different story. Anyways, we're gonna end this thing. I am so glad that I had the South Coast Ace. I am so glad that had El Poly. Anyways, I'm gonna let the rest of you guys introduce yourselves. I am the Delta BB. This was the Delta BB Unfiltered. And boom! Go ahead, Lip.
This is Lip.
This is the old man Quackers, Decoy and DA.
I'm the Shadows Gaming.
Till next time, we'll catch you on the next podcast. Love you guys.
Apology.